So today we're diving into the story of a guy who is incredibly powerful, but chances are you've probably never even heard his name. He's a man who built a global empire not with flashy headlines and a lot of noise, but with a strategy of just complete silence. You know, we live in this world of constant self-promotion, right? Everyone's showing off. But one man, Abdulla Al Futtaim, he proved that the greatest power doesn't actually need an audience. Honestly, his story is a masterclass in strategy, resilience, and some pretty incredible discipline. Okay, so to really understand the man, we've got to go back, way back, to the world that shaped him. And let me tell you, it's a world that looks nothing like the one he would eventually help build. I mean, just look at this contrast. The Dubai that Abdullah Al Futtaim grew up in was not the city we know today. Forget the glass skyscrapers and the supercars. You gotta picture dusty streets, a future that seemed kind of bleak, and an economy that basically ran on small-time businesses like fishing and pearl diving. That was the world he was born into. Yeah, his family wasn't rich, not at all. They were just part of this modest world where resources were tight, and the kind of insane wealth we associate with Dubai now, that was just a fantasy, a distant dream. But that feeling, that experience of scarcity and seeing all that wealth from the outside, well, it lit a fire in him that would end up fueling an entire empire. You know, every great story has those critical turning points. And for Al-Futtaim, his character wasn't just built on pure ambition. No, it was forged in tragedy and failure. Let's take a look at two moments that really, they changed everything for him. First, his father died. And just like that, his support system was gone. A mountain of responsibility just fell right onto his young shoulders. Then, when he finally took his first big swing at business, he failed. And he didn't just fail quietly, he was publicly ridiculed. The market doubted him. I mean, these two things could have absolutely broken him, but instead, they built him. And this right here, this is the crucial lesson he learned from all that failure. He figured out that the critics, the panic in the market, it was all just short-term noise. He realized the real win was in playing the long game, quietly. And that idea became the absolute foundation of his entire philosophy. So armed with this new philosophy, he started to build. But he did it in a way that just goes against all the modern rules of business. This was his silent strategy. His logic was basically built on three core ideas. First, he made all his partnerships silently, completely avoiding the media spotlight. Second, he focused on long-term trust over quick deals. He was all about relationships that would last for decades, which was kind of revolutionary when everyone else was just chasing a fast buck. And finally, he meticulously spread out the risk, diversifying his investments so that no single failure could ever sink the whole ship. And here's what that actually looked like. He started out with a Toyota dealership. Then, he got into retail, and he's the guy who brought massive brands like IKEA and Marks & Spencer to the Middle East for the very first time. And all of that was balanced with huge investments in real estate. It's a classic strategy, yeah? But he executed it with just incredible patience. So the method itself was so simple but so profound. No flashy press releases, no big noisy announcements. Just relentless, consistent, and super quiet expansion. Year after year after year. And for decades, this is how he operated, completely under the radar. So now let's finally pull back the curtain and see the truly mind-blowing results of this quiet strategy. So, after all that silence, all that patience, what did it actually create? What's the real scale of the empire that Abdullah Al Futtaim built? Well, let's start with how far it reaches. From the Middle East to Asia and all the way to Europe, the Al-Futtaim Group quietly set up shop in more than 20 countries. Now think about the human scale of this thing. His companies provide jobs for over 40,000 people around the world. To put that in perspective, that's like the entire population of a small city, all part of this silent empire. And when you add it all up, what do you get? A multi-billion-dollar empire. Built not with noise and hype, but with pure strategy, patience, and a laser focus on the long game. And this quote right here, this really gets to the heart of how he sees the world. While everyone else is chasing fame and likes and attention, he understood something fundamental. Real power isn't about showing off. It's about having quiet control over your own destiny. So what was the moral compass that guided him through all this? I mean, this wasn't just about clever business moves. His whole empire was built on a foundation of core values that were behind every single decision he made. These were his guiding principles, and they were deeply rooted in his faith. Patience, or sabr, silence, obviously, a deep commitment to ethical and permissible or halal partnerships, and finally, this powerful belief that wealth isn't really yours to own. It's a trust from God and amanat that you have to manage responsibly. This quote just perfectly sums up his entire life and legacy. Silent people come to make history, not noise. He had zero interest in being the loudest person in the room. He was interested in building something that would last for generations. And that, right there, is the ultimate lesson from his incredible story. In a world that just keeps getting louder and louder every single day, Abdulla Al Futtaim's life is this powerful reminder that the greatest strength, the most lasting success, is often hidden in silence. So what do you think? Is real power quiet?